Hey guys, welcome to another Hunter video. I'm falling... Oof. I'm a Night Elf Hunter on the Whisperwind server, and here we are in Heroic Gundrak because it is the Heroic Daily, and we're gonna go through this really quick. In less than 18 minutes. That includes all the time we have to res or buff or rest. Now, this instance was fairly tough once I freshly turned 80 and everyone freshly turned 80, but that was way back when, and now it's just easy sauce because everyone's so overgeared for it. There are a lot of achievements associated with this instance, but I'm not going to go over them because they take a long time to do, and some of them are the hardest in the game, and that needs another dedicated video just for that. So I'm just going to go over what you need to do to kill the bosses and what the bosses do, even though you won't get to see what they do in this video because we just kill the bosses so fast. And so we engage the first boss, which is the snake boss, and he has two major things you have to watch out for. One is a poison nova, which you have to run out of the way, out of line of sight, so it doesn't hurt you. The other one is he will summon snakes, vipers, and constrictors. The constrictors will usually find the healer or whoever has aggro and constrict them so that they can't move or cast anything. And that needs to be avoided because if you lose a healer, then you might die in this instance. But we just take him down so quickly, we don't even have to run out of line of sight for the poison nova because by the time first one's done, he pretty much has died. Now, after every one of these bosses, there is a shrine which you have to hit so that you can have access to the last and final boss. To enter this instance, there are two different entrances. One, you can fight the snake boss the first, and the other one, you fight the mammoth boss the first. And I will suggest the snake boss because two reasons. One, it's closer to the entrance, or sorry, closer to the summoning stone, and two, because there is another pathway you have to go across to access one of the other bosses, and it's just easier going through the snake door. Now for this boss, first you have to clear these trash. These living mojos, they will create a puddle of poison which ticks for some pretty heavy damage, which you have to get out of once they die. And yeah, that's it. And you see someone just grabbed aggro and he was in the poison, so he died. And my pet is taking for some pretty heavy damage, so let me call him back with Master's Call and then put him on passive. And you see that purple ground or purple stuff on the ground, that's what hurts you and that's what you should stay out of. Poor guy. He died. He's making out with the floor right now. Now for this next boss, he is pretty much a simple tank and spank. There's two phases to him. One is the statue mode. The other one is an elemental mode. When you're facing the statue, tank and spank, he really does nothing special. Once he's in his elemental phase, then the elementals will shoot a purple beam at you, and then you have to look to your feet. Usually it will cause a purple stuff on the ground which you have to get out of. It ticks for damage as well as gives you a poison debuff which you have to get out of the poison to remove. Now at 50% he will spit out the elemental, and then once the elemental is at 50% he will go back into the statue. You see those poison stuff on the ground, that's what you have to avoid. And if you look to the top right corner, you'll see the poison debuff ticking. Now once the statue is at 0%, he'll spit out the elemental once more, and then you have to kill the 50% elemental down to 0, and then you would have killed this boss. Definitely one of the easiest bosses in here. Maybe next to Ek, which I'll explain later. Alright, now this area is why we went through the snake entrance. because now there's a long pathway to the left to walk all the way across to the next door, or you can just jump down into the water and take some damage from some fish, but then just walk across and you're through to the next area already. Now before you do that, make sure you set your pet on stay and passive so that the pet doesn't run around and aggro everything in sight. Now for this boss, usually there is an achievement, Less Robbie, which is a pretty tough fight, or a pretty tough achievement to get, but if you're not going for the achievement, pretty much tank and spank. He does nothing special at all. Maybe he does a group-wide stun for about a second, which is, you have nothing to worry about. Now we're not going for the achievement because it's easier to do it with a shaman, and we don't have one in the group, so we're not even gonna bother. Now once we click that shrine, we'll have access to the last boss, but there's one more boss that's only available on heroic mode, and that's if you go down to the Shrine of Ek and you kill the Rune Dwellers. Now the Rune Dwellers will jump at a random person and drop aggro, but a tank can just pick them back up by taunting, and that's pretty much what you have to watch out for with the boss as well. It's just a bigger version of these Rune Dwellers. Now the boss has two different skills you have to watch out for. One is a frontal AoE cone damage, so just stay out of its front. He will also have another skill to just drop aggro and spring at a random group member, but the tank can just taunt him back onto them. He also has a 2-minute enrage timer, which will increase his damage and attack speed by quite a lot, so you need to have enough DPS to take this guy down within 2 minutes. And he's down. Now let's go on to the last and final boss. Once you are in the water, which you have to do again with the fishes, once you are in combat, then just turn around, jump, and disengage so you get to land that much faster. And also water walking or levitation or Path of Frost, they always help to get you across water just that much faster. Now once we take down these little ads, we'll have access to the last boss. Now the last boss is quite tough if you don't have enough DPS. He has a few different abilities. One, he will put a debuff which ticks for some very heavy damage. You'll see very soon that he puts it on my pet, and my pet is then ticking for about 6k damage. And he'll throw this onto random members of the raid. The other skill he has is he will cast Stampede, which has a random rhino coming out and just do heavy damage on one member and then knock them back. He has another skill which he turns into a rhino himself, and he will gouge somebody or impale somebody, and that person is immobilized for that certain period when they are impaled. And we just killed him in less than 18 minutes, and I got my item, and that's it for our daily heroic. And so that's it for heroic Gundrak, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's it for this one. Until next time, take care. Bye now.